Hello, my name is Sean Smith. I am the Director of Operations for the Muny, located in St. Louis, Missouri. We are an 11,000 seat outdoor amphitheater. We specialize in Broadway-style musicals. We produce them every summer from mid-June through the end of August. So one of our biggest challenges with being an outdoor venue is the temperature. There's this perception that St. Louis in the summers, it's very humid, it's very hot. We were looking for a way to provide more comfort for our patrons. We did have an existing fan system in place prior to 2013. However, the noise, the way the air flowed, we could only turn on those fans during intermission and after the show. So we were looking for something sort of to improve the comfort levels during a performance itself. When we were looking at the type of fan, we were replacing an existing fan system that had been around since the 50s. It just was not designed with the current technologies in mind. We certainly looked at other vendors. One thing that attracted us to Envira-North was basically the technology that was being employed with the blades. We thought that looking at the specs and what we observed as we were testing out models, we saw that the airflow was pushing further out. We got more of a horizontal push because of the pitch of the blades, and that was important to us because the theater is so big. So, another vendor might come in and could have done the project with, say, 8 to 10 fans. Well, we were able to place 4 fans and still get the same amount of coverage, pushing the air out further and further across the theater. When you're trying to keep 10,000 plus people comfortable, and you're also trying to let them see a performance, you can't have fan pulls throughout the theater. So Envira-North really were the group that came in and felt that we could achieve that goal with the fewest sightline disruptions. The one unique thing about our fan setup, when you look at a lot of fans, they typically are installed in a hanging, where they hang from a ceiling. We don't have a roof, so that was a unique challenge for us, and the team at Envira-North were able to re-engineer the motors so that these fans sit on top of fan poles, very clean, very neat, and again, not distracting, not adding another architectural element in the theater. So it's one of the reasons that led us to them as well. We've been very happy with the product, so it's an easy sell. As we look at the comfort level and the complements we've got inside the theater, we've actually expanded the scope of the work we do with Envira-North outside of the theater as well. So we sit in the middle of Forest Park in St. Louis, and as people are coming into the theater, we have a lot of pre-show activity. So our performances typically start at 8:15. We'll have pre-show activity anywhere from 6 p.m. on at a warmer point of the day. For those 2 hours and 15 minutes, they are not necessarily inside the theater. They may be out in one of our pre-show festival areas. And last year, 2024, we tested another fan from Envira-North, similar model, not quite as tall, but we put it in one of these pre-show areas just to push some air around. And we really got an amazing reaction from the people just saying how we've cooled off the space. And with that, just this past year, in the last month, we've installed 4 additional fans in another pre-show festival place, a pre-show festival area. So we feel that this is really a good fit for us. We have received quite a bit of positive feedback. In St. Louis, as I mentioned, we have those humid, hot summers, maybe those days or nights when the air just doesn't seem to move. But when people step into our theater, we don't have any roof at all, so it's completely open. People talk about the breeze, the gentle summer breezes that are coming through the theater, and it's really just a more enjoyable experience for them. With the new fan we installed in 2024, we're getting compliments from people that are gathering prior to the show. They're able to picnic, have a little dinner or drink before they head into the show, and it might be 80 something degrees out, but they're still feeling comfortable out there, feeling cool. And we expect with the new fans that we just installed that we will get a similar reaction from our new upper plaza entry, which was just renovated this past year. So in terms of reliability, the fans themselves seem to hold up well. As I mentioned, they're sitting out in an exposed elements. They're out in the sun all year round. We've had no issues with them. I know that there's a safety cable mechanism inside the blades, which was important for us because these do sit above our audience. But yeah, I think that in terms of our comfort level, we do run them off and on throughout the year to test them. We do an annual check just to make sure that blades are secured. But other than that, they've really been low maintenance for us. We sought out and we're looking for a solution to airflow in the theater. We interviewed several companies. We found Envira-North through one of our local retailers. It was a pretty easy process to get them on board, and the response, in some cases when you're dealing with a local party, there seems to be a sort of middleman feel, but from the start it felt like Envira-North were invested in making sure that our product was installed right. So it was more than just dealing with the local people. The company was reaching out and came down to even take a look to make sure that the installation was up to their standards as well. So we really appreciate that. We're investing in something like that for our theater. Safety of patrons. We appreciate that extra sort of push, extra eyes on the project just to make sure everything turned out as we expected. We never thought that we would be able to put something in the theater that could be run during a performance. So as you can imagine, musical theater, we're not doing necessarily rock shows. We're not a sporting venue. There are times when we need the theater to be absolutely quiet for those very intense emotional scenes. So while we were starting to explore this idea, all of a sudden there's new technology out there that we can take advantage of. There's fans that run quiet. There's fans that kept my sound design team happy because we could run them during a production and they weren't interfering with the sound quality of our performances. So I think that we just quite honestly weren't aware that this existed until we started looking at ways to improve the circulation throughout the theater. And now that they're there, again, we've proven these fans in the theater have been in place since 2013. So we're well over 10 years. We're very happy with them, and we've gone back to Envira-North to expand the scope of the work here in the last couple of years. We would certainly recommend the product to others. As a matter of fact, I have recommended the product to others. I will say that word of mouth has spread about what we've done in our venue, not just from other theaters, because there aren't necessarily a lot of theaters our size they're outdoor amphitheaters, but sporting venues, anyone that's asked, we've been very pleased with the product and pass along the information willingly, just to, because we have been so happy with it.